I'm sitting out here in the middle of the woods because I'd like to make a little secret hideaway. And I think I found a good spot. Here is the view from our spot right here. As you can see, pine grove, beautiful. The pine grove is rather small, but it makes for a good spot to set up thanks to the minimal underbrush in comparison to the surrounding forest. To start the project, I raked away the top layer of fallen pine needles and debris. And then snipped away anything that remained in the way. The purpose of a secluded woodland hideaway in the first place is to have a chill spot all to myself, which of course means setting up the hammock. Oh Lord. This is a spot I'd like to really easily be able to come and go from. It's really close to my house, and I'd really like to not have to keep bringing the hammock out here like I have been. So what I've done is I've brought this big glass jar and a waterproof top. So I'll just be able to really easily take the hammock down. I'll leave the straps up. And the hammock is really condensable, so I can just pack it into this and leave the jar out here. The hammock will be able to live out here in the woods at the hideaway. Another thing I quite like about this spot is that right above the hammock, we have this arched tree. All right, we're here back on the trail. The hideaway is just out this way. So what I essentially need to do is just kind of trim a pathway, a general pathway, through the brush here. Since the camera is set up on a trail that's actually used, the purpose of what you're seeing is less about creating another real trail, but more about inconspicuously minimizing future bushwhacking. So sadly, this is visible from the trail. That's just a visibility test that I did. It's really visible from the trail. There came a time when I realized that the space I was working in and around was actually smaller than I'd initially thought. Obviously, if I didn't figure something out fast, it could prove disastrous for the whole project. In an effort to keep myself secluded, I collected long, sturdy branches from around the area, and I began to form a wall to block as much vision to and from the trail as possible. Once I had a good foundation of sticks up, I used fallen branches with lots of evergreen needles to really reduce the vision. We had lots of trees taken down by a recent torrential downpour, and, conveniently, one tree was split in such a way that it created an almost perfect plank of wood. It really seemed too good to be true, and it wasn't even that far away. And right here, I ripped my sock on that stick. It was split and splintered, but it was flat and just the right size for sitting. I cleaned up the edges with the saw and brought out some firewood to use as legs, and then began my journey as a novice woodworker. There we go. Hey, that works. Technically, it's wobbly still, but the bench sort of works. Made a bench. I felt like I cleaned a cozy amount of space the first time I did this, but with the recent addition of the bench, and for safety's sake, I figured I needed a little more room. I brought out some stones we had lying around in the backyard and got to work on digging a fire pit. Even though it was in the high 70s when I filmed this, and the wood scraps from the bench weren't going to burn well, I felt like I had to give the little fire pit an inaugural test run. I felt I just had to re-record the walkout shot that this video started with, because by this time the woods were looking greener every day and the flowers along the trail were in full bloom. This whole time I'd been putting thought into this hideout's name. I settled on Sylvan Grove and carved the title into a scrap of decommissioned cutting board, painting in the letters. The word sylvan means living in or related to the woods or forest, so it felt like the perfect fit to go with the Pine Grove location. Although, in this footage, I'm sitting in my backyard. Now with an official sign, any forest creature, wanderer, or friend of mine that may end up here will know the name and hopefully get to put the hammock to good use. Well, I think this is where I'm going to be ending this video, and I'm really happy with how this has turned out. We set the hammock up, we cleared the space, we blocked the vision from the trail, we built a bench and a fire pit. I brought this rope out in case I want to hang like a lantern from it, but with how buggy it is at night right now, I don't really foresee that getting much use, but I've got this rope up, so you know, it's there. So I think the best strategy will be to tie the end of the rope to like the hammer here and just toss the hammer over. Beautiful. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this has turned out, and I think this might be a good spot to wrap up the video. Hopefully I can maintain and continue improving Sylvan Grove and bring friends along as well. Thanks for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. Take care.